Sheriff, you know, yesterday we heard possibly your deputies may have been hurt from a Molotov cocktail. Can you give us a description? How are your deputies doing out there? And do you have a number of arrests they have made?
I do not have a number of arrests yet. We will have that for you maybe by tomorrow morning. Leslie, I really appreciate you asking about the well-being of our deputies.
I don't. Do you think the protests will get bigger tomorrow or fizzle out? I feel like they're probably going to get larger. That's the vibe, I think. More National Guardsmen coming in. Things are compounding. It's a work day, though. That's true. I forgot about that because I'm a live streamer. Hassan said he'd go out tomorrow. My point made.
People forget that when police officers and deputy sheriffs go to work, they have families at home who are very concerned about them. They're praying that they come home safe, that they come home non-injured. And unfortunately, yesterday, during the unrest in Paramount and Compton, we had deputies who were out there trying to keep the peace, trying to do their job, and they were violently attacked. People were throwing things at them, which included high-powered pyrotechnics. So I had a deputy who was hospitalized after they experienced significant burns from those pyrotechnics. And yes, we had another individual throw a Molotov cocktail. And I just got to say that it's sickening. That has nothing to do with legitimate protesting or demonstrations. Those are a criminal act that have no business being done anywhere. That everybody should come out and say that is 100% unacceptable.
Hey, Sheriff, it's Mike here. I want to bring up a point when you talk about the injured deputies. There's video circulating, and I'm not sure if you've seen it, but I believe it was either in Paramount or Compton yesterday where two of your deputies, you know, either were tear gassed by federal law enforcement or some other chemical irritant got in their eye, and they went into a business. It looked like a restaurant, and a Latina business owner was helping them put milk on their eyes to kind of wash that out. You know, this whole situation started with federal law enforcement coming into Los Angeles County and conducting those raids, which, you know, whatever your opinion on it is, it happened, and it has caused what we're seeing now. Are you worried that when the federal law enforcement come in and do these types of things that it erodes some of the trust that your department has worked hard to build with the community?
Not actually a terrible question.
That's an excellent question, Mike, and yes, absolutely. The LA County Sheriff's Department, and I could speak for almost every law enforcement agency here in Southern California, we've been working so hard to build bridges, build relationships. That's how you reduce crime. That's how you positively impact quality of life. And a lot of what we've seen in the last week is very concerning to me. And again, our federal partners, if they are out and they are trying to take into custody individuals that have committed violent or serious crime, there's a due process. Hey, get them off our streets. But as they're going out and, you know, we're taking cooks and gardeners and maids and hotel workers into custody, that's what's causing a lot of our challenges here. That is breaking public trust. And I'm really hoping, and I don't want to sound extreme.
This is about the most that we can hope for in the context of, you know, the sheriff's department. I am still happy that this is the line, I suppose. In spite of everything that's being said, maintaining the argument of, like, ICE is going after good people, and that's why these protests are happening, is a lot better than the sheriff just, like, flatly saying, like, okay, well, obviously ICE is doing their job, you know? A very low bar. But the fact that they are blaming ICE for the protests is meaningful. That is meaningful.
On any side, because I think we have to be moderate to solve some of these very tough challenges that we have in front of us. But hey, I was born here in LA. I've been here my entire life. We know the culture here. Being an immigrant or having immigrant families, that's part of our rich culture. That's why people come visit this area. And, you know, what you hear, this rhetoric about all these immigrants committing crime, our statistics don't bear that out. Yeah.
Again, lowest bar possible, but let me be happy with the tiny, tiny, tiny amounts I can be happy with.
We have people who commit crime. We don't care if they're immigrants or not. We have amazing deputies who will respond, investigate, take people into custody. But the majority of the people committing crimes here are not immigrants.
Yeah, and Sheriff Luna, we have heard, some situations where the communication between federal law enforcement and specifically the LAPD has just not been.
It is meaningful. I hope they keep that line up. Again, I know they're still going to keep brutalizing protesters, but there is a big difference between the LAPD and LASD brutalizing protesters because that's just what they do, which it is, and then brutalizing protesters because they're ideologically reaffirming the validity of ICE's behavior in Los Angeles. Again, I know, low bar. Look, I know it's a point of very heightened tension right now. I just don't want anyone coming after me being like, wait, why is Vaush like arguing the sheriff's department is based? Look at what they did. I just don't want that smoke right now. Please, just, I'm just saying.
I think, the federal agents are enforcing federal immigration law, which is their right, and anybody can have their personal opinion on to what level that should be, who should they focus on, and those kind of things. I won't take a position on that because really that's not our focus, not our job. But when I look at the people who are out there doing the violence, that's not the people that we see during the day who are legitimately out there exercising their First Amendment rights and to be able to express their feelings about the immigration enforcement issue. These are people who are all hooded up. They've got a hoodie on. They've got face masks on.
They were saying this in the earlier ABC feed as well. I don't know if they were replaying older audio from the police chief or if they were getting new audio. It is true. This happens in all protests. I mean, anytime there's real civil unrest, you have people during the day, and then at night you've got people who are like, let's shit up. Happened during BLM too, of course. It's pretty unavoidable. God, is it a sign of how we are that the bar is this low that I'm like, well, thank God the LAPD chief is acknowledging the fact that the protesters are not the people who are looting the businesses, Yep. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. The bar's pretty low right now. That's where we are.
On. There are people who do this all the time, get away with whatever they can, go out there, from one civil...
It's true. And by the way, and I apologize for libbing it up in front of you all, but I did make this point during the BLM protests as well, where I said, you shouldn't focus on the riots or the looting or whatever, because that's not what this is about. It's going to happen no matter what, but that's not what this is about, Don't hyperfixate, Don't get all up in your head about the optics of it, because the people who are doing the looting after dark are not listening to you when you talk about optics. Like, what you think they're like the ones on Twitter or whatever? No, they're, young people, desperate people, people with a criminal or violent inclination to begin with, hoodlums, gang members, whatever. And, listen, no hate, okay? We all like to get wacky now and then, but, these aren't the people who are going to listen to your screed on optics, I did say back in BLM, and I'll say it today, it's important to conduct good discipline during a protest, and I think that includes trying to keep people from acting in a way that sort of incurs the wrath of the police. The classic example to me, it was during the BLM protests, and this one random protester reached into a, I think, broken cop car and pulled out an AR-15. And this is a protester, okay? The protester's holding this gun. Clearly, this guy does not know how to hold a rifle, right? And thank God for this. Private security of somebody else who was at the protest, so not a cop, but like a security guard, went up and basically tackled the guy to take the gun from him. And that was good, because you really, really don't want the police to see in the crowd a guy ineptly holding a rifle. You really... Oh, I think you found it. I think you found it. I think you found it. Is it this?
It could spread to some other new...
This. Yeah. Here we go. This kid reached in. Okay, it wasn't a cop car. He just got the gun from a car. It's America. We can do that, okay?
Nearby vehicles. Also a concern about that bill.
And this guy, who was private security for someone else, drew his gun and just yanked the rifle from him, which is pretty brave. I mean, to just run up and yank a gun from somebody. Was that his gun? No. That guy pulled it from a car. But this dipshit could have gotten a lot of people killed, Could have gotten himself killed. By the way, if you're holding a gun at a protest and one of the police snipers sees you, they're probably gonna get you, which is preferable to the police just spraying into the crowd, by the way. It's important to conduct, you know, a degree of responsibility in protest, because otherwise you put a lot of people at risk. Remember that one time back during the BLM protests, there was this one agitator. He was a live streamer, right-wing live streamer. And he went to a BLM protest. He had his phone out, you know, he's recording. And he's like, tip this truck, tip this truck, tip this truck. Trying to get all the people around him, you know. And then the guy in front of him turns around and he's like, what the f are you talking about? Get out of here, man. And the crowd like shoos him off and he like has to run away because the crowd of BLM protesters is trying to like kick his ass, basically. Least obvious Fed. Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. Just don't act like the federal agent that they want you to be, you know? Make them have to expend the money on a Fed's payroll to be the agitator. Don't do the work for them, you know? Make them waste the time.